So my dearest students, my dearest team members, hope you guys are all doing well. This is becoming now a consistent way of us communicating. It's now, I would even say, official. I just wanted to say a quick shout out. I really appreciate you guys reaching out with some ideas on the Dvar Torah in the past couple of weeks. I ask that you keep on reaching out, whether it's questions, whether it's your own insights on the Torah, or you're completely, even some reach out with their own Dvar Torah. You have no idea how much that means to me and my family, and how much it elevates our days, our weeks, our months, our Shabbases. So please keep on continuing, keep that up, continuing to send those thoughts over. I'm obsessed with them. I want to share another quick idea this week, which I shared with some of you already. This week's parsha is Tazria-Metzora, and I feel like cheating the parsha if I didn't mention something else also going on this week. We all commemorated Yom HaShoah this year, and for the first time ever, we commemorated virtually from our own homes. We didn't go to any event in person. We didn't walk into Beth Jacob, into any of our schools for an event. We watched things at our home, and we tried to tap in as much as we possibly could from home. And as I was learning with the parsha, looking into the parsha as well, I don't want to say it's even a coincidence that the two kind of pair up in the same week, Parsha Tazria-Metzora and Yom HaShoah. There's a thought that one kind of spiraled into the other. And the thought was the following. I heard the following story about a year ago, and it checked out. It's fully factual. I'm going to share some stuff. I'm going to try to share on my screen with you guys. In 1933, in Kiel, there was a family by the name of Mishpacha Posner. The Posner family was a great family. It was a rabbi and Rebbitzin, Rabbi Akiva Posner and Rebbitzin Rachel Posner. And Rebbitzin Rachel Posner came to the 8th night of Hanukkah. I'm going to share my screen with you. She took a picture on the 8th night of Hanukkah. And the picture was the following. You can all see this picture that I put up of a swastika with a menorah in the background. And as you can imagine, it's the 8th night of Hanukkah going into Shabbos, and it was, I imagine, a tough Hanukkah for anyone in Germany or Poland. And to dafka have a swastika flag across your house as you're lighting for the 8th night must be even more riveting. And Rebbitzin Rachel Posner had an extreme amount of emotion. That after she lit the menorah, right before she lit the Shabbos candles, she wrote something on the back of this picture. And I'm going to share it with you. Here's what she wrote on the back of the picture. She has this picture, and it says in German, Judah will die, thus says the flag. Judah will live, thus says the lights. What a message. 1933, we know what happens after that. Not too long after that, at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, Hitler gives his massive ceremony. A massive ceremony. He has his ceremony where he gives an extremely powerful to those, a powerful speech that he attempts to uplift the Aryan community by explaining to them what their number one problem that's standing in their way, which is the Jewish people. And as we know, the final solution comes about 9 years later, with the final solution of ending the religion, ending the society, ending the community that is the Jewish people. And to be quite honest and frank with it, I don't want to say get somewhat close, but that is some serious damage, as we know. We lost some 6 million plus neshamot, tzaddikim, tzaddikot, who we lost in the Shoah, people who we know about, who we love, some of our great-grandparents or our great-uncles, some people we've never heard about, some people who will never be known about. And we mourn for them every year. We cry for them every year. So what's the win in all of this? it almost feels like Judah will die, thus says the flag. It almost feels like that statement is somewhat true, has some truth to it. To be honest, that reality is somewhat tough to sit with and to understand. Not too many years ago, Rav Teichtel, who's the chief rabbi in Berlin, was approached by the prime minister of Berlin. And the prime minister had an idea. He said, it's about to be the 80th anniversary of the Shoah, and I want to do something special. Rav Teichtel, who knew this story very well and knew about the famous speech that Hitler gave at the Brandenburg Gates, where he announces his commitment to the German people and announces his commitment to the death of Jews, the death of rebirth of Jewish identity, of Jewish children. He says, I have an idea. Why don't we, this year at the Brandenburg Gate, erect a massive menorah in which we will light, and you, the president of Berlin, prime minister of Berlin, will light the menorah on Yom HaShoah. Instead of swastika flags hanging around everywhere, it's going to be you lighting it, the prime minister, the leader of this city, lighting it in that very spot in which Hitler gave his commitment to the death of Jews. And we'll share with you the picture of the 80th Yom HaShoah anniversary, where it was erected at the Brandenburg Gate, where the president lit the shamash himself, with Rav Teichtel, the chief rabbi of Berlin, lighting the rest of the candles. And what a day it was! And there was a Jew who live streamed into this event all the way from Haifa. And this Jew, sorry to come back, and this by the name of Rav Mansbach in Haifa, at that very time was lighting his own menorah. His menorah that his grandma somehow managed to save, managed to hide during the Shoah, and keep it for the rest of her life to give over to her children. Rabbi Mansbach, the son of Rebbetzin Rachel Posner, lit the menorah on that same night, while at the Brandenburg Gate, where there was a massive menorah being lit. Judah will live, thus says the lights. In this week's Parsha, we talk about the mitzvah of a woman being pure after she gives birth. We talk about the purity of birth itself. We talk about the mitzvah of it. And go into details of halachas and etc., which we won't go into in this video, to understand the beauty and the holiness and the pureness of what it means to have a Jewish child, of what it means to bring more and more Jews into the world, whether it's teach more of our children, whether it's spend time with our children, whether it's talk to our children, whether it's play with our children. It's raising them as real Jewish people in this world, Jewish kids who believe in themselves. What better as a stamp to say, thus the flag will die and thus Judah will live. And what a story that was left to us by Rebbe Rachel Posner. And we see it in this week's Parsha, the beauty of the purity of birth and how to become pure after birth. And really alluding to the mitzvah of birth itself, of continuing the Jewish nation, of continuing the Jewish people. We all continue to build hard times and easy times, happy times and sad times. Never forget what our duty always is, and it will never take rest, of continuing the Jewish nation, of not only sustaining it, but growing it, building it, physically and spiritually. Thank you to the Posner family for leaving the story out there for us to be inspired by. And thank you to all of you who continue raising the Jewish nation and the Jewish people and bringing us closer to Yemei HaMashiach. Just want to wish you teens, please reach out again, keep it coming. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Miss you guys as always, love you guys as always, and hope to speak soon.